morning and welcome to Unity Spiritual Center, Pflugerville. My name is Cary and I get to talk to you today. Before we start our talk, Randy is recovering from shoulder surgery and we have a beautiful note from his father, Frank Taylor. Randy and I wish to express our deep gratitude to each person who blessed us with gifts of food and caring following Randy's surgery. We knew and could feel that your gifts came with loving thoughts. Your daily caring made the pain more manageable and the healing much faster. And without realizing it, your food gifts spared us from an agony almost as devastating as the surgery, my cooking. We thank you, Randy's dad. And we thank you for taking care of our Randy. Okay, today we're talking about the miracle of letting go. When I started thinking about this topic, a lot of things came to mind. One was finding us a scripture that would work. And God led me to daily work. I let go and let God, trusting in divine timing. There is a time for effort, a time for striving, a time to try to make things happen. But after I've given myself to the pursuit of a goal, I must recognize when the time comes for me to withdraw from worldly effort, to let go and let God. This is a wonderful act of empowerment, a declaration of trust in the presence and power of God. And in my trust that this presence and power express at the point of me. I can relax, knowing I need not rely upon my human efforts alone. I listen for my guidance and move forward when the time is right, believing with understanding, faith, the right opportunities will present themselves in accordance with divine timing. I let go, let God, and feel abundantly blessed. The Lord will fight for you, and you will have only to keep still. Charles Fillmore, co-founder of Unity, wrote in Revealing Word, letting go of the old is erasing from consciousness thoughts contrary to truth. And this is done by denial. In Unity, we talk about affirmations and denial. And with denial, we just cancel the negativity in our lives. We just cancel those negative thoughts. So where do we let go? Well, relationships is a big one for me. Trying to make people over, needing to release expectations of how people should be. Also, not to be so hard on ourselves, to release expectations for ourselves. We don't have to be perfect. We were never intended to be perfect, because all of those challenges teach us not only that we can do things and fix and change things, but we can let go of things and we can let God handle it. Yes, there are times when we need to step forward and fix it, but our divine guidance is what gives us the answers and tells us how to fix it. Sometimes our relationships focus on the spouse, on kids, never. On families, on friends. My mantra lately has been, you do you. And in a way, that is a release. Because if I let each and every person be who they're supposed to be, there's nothing to fix. I just have to take care of being me. Sometimes we have challenges with business opportunities, letting go of controlling the outcome. When I went back to school to become a teacher, I had my mind set. I was going to be a high school teacher. So when they gave me my assignment for my first student teaching class, they said, you're going to the middle school. I said, no, I can't do that. I'm secondary, I'm high school. They go, oh no, you're going to middle school. Okay, did my student teaching at the middle school. My first job assignment, I was interviewing at a middle school, but I'd also been putting an application in at the high school. I was talking to the principal at the middle school, and we had a very good talk, a nice conversation. And when it came time to leave, he actually stood at the door and blocked me from leaving. Are you going to take this job? I said, well, sir, I'm really trying to get on at the high school. So can you give me a day or two to find out? I'll give you 2 days. At the end of 2 days, I called him up. I said, yes, sir, I'll take the job. And then when I came here, I kept trying to get into the high school. I got a job at the middle school. But every year when there was an opening, I tried to get in. Or we opened a new high school, I tried to get in. Never worked. And what I realized, I was exactly where I needed to be. With exactly the people, the students, the subjects, that not only I was able to teach, but taught me. And so it was all in divine order when I let go of striving for what I thought I was supposed to do. And let God tell me what I was really doing. Is there something I can do to make that stop? Okay. In church, we hold the space that we need to let go and know that God is in divine order. For example, we let go and let God lead us to a new minister. We realized that God was in charge. When we put in our minister packet, and it went to everybody who's looking for a ministerial position, do you know how many people responded? 1. That was divine order. That was God saying, let it go. I've got the perfect person for you. And Sharon, we can't wait to have you here. We also look for a new home with our church. Letting go and letting God doesn't mean we don't try. It doesn't mean we don't go look. It just means we will know when our right home comes to us. And we were at peace until that happens. Another issue that we need to learn to let go is health issues. Our healthcare providers are here to give us divine diagnosis, divine treatment, and divine care. And also, we need to let go of our concerns and know that our bodies are built to heal. For you, Randy, and you, Greg. Our bodies are here to heal, and they are all in divine order. So when we let go our fears, we let go our anxiety, we let that body do what it was designed to do, to heal. In my family, we've had 2 heart transplants. One, our young son, Kevin, was 14, and our oldest son, I don't even remember how old he was, but in October, he'll be 15 years out from his heart transplant. Doing great. As a matter of fact, he just finished college and became a nurse and is working at South Austin Medical Center, doing his dream job. So when we think about our health, we need to let go and know that no matter what the challenge, it's in divine order. Our healing is done. We just let it happen. There's so many opportunities to experience letting go. I remember when I went to college, I started to return to college when our youngest child went to kindergarten. And it was a lot of work. My college was 65 miles one way from where we lived. And I was there every day. And because we were military, I knew I had to finish in 2 years. So I was overloading my class load. And I had God with me every step of the way. And they came up and they said, we're going to have class rings. I wanted one. But I didn't have money for it. I put the money for the down payment and walked away. Okay, God, it's up to you. I don't have the rest of the money for this, but I know it'll be there. Within a very short time, I got a letter from my grandmother. She said, I'm sending you this. It came from your aunt, And she said to split it between you and your two brothers. But I had this feeling you really need it. I needed $60 to pay off the ring. How much was in the envelope? $60.
Wow.
Letting go does work. Being military, we moved a lot. There's a lot of inability to control a military move. You get told where to go. In many places and cases, you get told where to live. So I would let go. I would say, okay, God, I'm letting go of this. And we'd have such lovely homes that I would say, this or something better. And we always had the perfect place. As a matter of fact, when we moved here, we knew that this would probably be our retirement home. And we moved here because of Kevin's health, because we knew he was going to have a transplant. So we came and we were working with a realtor. And the realtor was showing us all around Pflugerville and Round. And at the time, prices were pretty astronomical, and our budget wasn't astronomical. And so we'd gone to these places, and they were very disappointing, and I was getting disappointed. And it was lunchtime, we were going to take a break, and we went back to the realtor's office. And on the way back, I calmed myself. I said, God, I let go. I let you. I know this is in divine order. So we got back to her office. We were having a glass of water. She was on her computer. She said, I've got something for you. Okay, we get back in the car and we drive into this neighborhood, brand new neighborhood, beautiful homes. We turn down the street. I said, we can afford something here because you can afford this. As we come down the street and look at these houses, and she shows us a 4-bedroom home, which we thought we could never afford with 4 kids. We pull up, we look at it, it's amazing. I said, how can we afford this? She said, these homes just came on the market. They've been in foreclosure because the builder went bankrupt. And the company that owns them wants to let them go. Well, how much are they? $75,000. Thank you, God. We had our beautiful home. In the miracle of letting go, Charles, I'm haunted, I think. Okay? Charles Filmer wrote of miracles as mighty things have been wrought in the past by those who had mere blind faith to guide them.
Could you read that? Repeat that?
Miracles are mighty things that have been wrought in the past by those who had mere blind faith to guide them. Isn't letting go blind faith? When we were in the other church, we had a memorial service for 9/11. And I went to it, and it was 2003. Life was pretty difficult for me at that point. The family was kind of fractured, and school was difficult, and it just seemed like I had so much pressure. And I went to that service, and I felt my heart break open. As tears came to my eyes, I heard my still small voice, a voice of despair and a voice of release. I said, I let go of it all, God. I give my life to you. Whatever it is mine to do, I surrender. I'm here to do your work. I surrender to your infinite wisdom and your love. My life is yours, God. My life is yours to do with as you wish. I let go, and I turned it all over to God. I left the service not knowing and not planning what my future would hold. I embraced the feeling that God would guide my life, and I would walk the future in His care. The next day, I would realize the power of letting go. At that time, I was a volunteer volunteer with the Pflugerville Fire Department, and I wore a pager. But when I was teaching, I didn't look at my pager because my students were my priority. It was a Friday morning. I was teaching 8th grade science, believe that or not. The kids were doing their warm-up. It was the first period of the day. And the kids were working quietly. That's a miracle right there. My pager went off. And something, and I say this, Kevin, told me to look at it. And I looked at my pager, and it was the school's address. And I had this feeling that the nurse might need my help. Just then a teacher was walking past my door. I said, could you come in and keep an eye on my kids? I'm gonna go see if the nurse needs me. So I walked out and somebody yelled at me, get to the art room. I ran to the art room and I saw the nurse, our school resource officer, kneeling on the floor next to a small 6th grade student. She was bagging him and ventilating him. So I came around and knelt down next to him to start compressions. And just then another police officer walked in. Our school resource officer had called his dispatch. At that time, Pflugerville had 4 patrol cars with AEDs, automated external defibrillators. And he told his dispatch, get me the closest car with an AED. So as I knelt down, a police officer walked in and he handed me the AED. At that time, with my EMS training, I had been told we don't use AEDs on anyone younger than 11 years old or less than 90 pounds. I took the AED, I put the pads on the child. It analyzed, it wanted to shock. And the button is flashing to push the button to shock him. And all I could think is, how old is he? And I yelled, how old is he? Nobody knew. How much does he weigh? Cary, nobody's gonna know that. And they're telling me, push the button. And I'm afraid I'm gonna hurt him. And so I took a breath, I said, God, tell me what to do. And I heard very clear, push the button, Cary. Okay, clear. I pushed the button, nothing. I started doing compressions. AEDs are designed to give you 2 minutes of CPR, and then they stop you and analyze to see if another shock is needed. At the end of the 2 minutes, his eyelids started to flutter. As the machine said, do not touch, analyzing, and we took our hands off of him. He was looking at me. He was looking all around. He was looking like, who are you? Where? Why am I on the floor? What's going on? Just then the paramedics walked in. I gave a report. 1 shot, he just regained consciousness. The principal, the nurse, the SRO, and I walked out in the hall as the paramedics took over. We could hear him crying. We could hear him telling, don't do that, it hurts, when they were putting an IV in. He was totally back. I knew at that moment how my life had changed, how this boy's family would not experience what we had when Kevin died from heart rejection at 15. How I'd been blessed to be a part of a miracle. Yes, I gave my life to God, and He gave me the greatest blessing of all. He gave me a chance to save a life and to change